What do you guys think about Wanindu's future? You can see the big runs in crucial moments of the game, fitness issues, or any other reason. That's a question that's come in via the YouTube page. If you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, drop us a message and we'll kind of react in some way to it. That has come in from someone called Hello, who's got a very cute picture of a dog as their kind of face. Do you guys want to? Does either who wants to have a first stab at kind of answering this question? Because I do think when you talk about that kind of the one era, which had Angelo kind of front and center of it in the T20 team, I kind of think when they took the captaincy off him, and we kind of after crashing out the World Cup in kind of reasonably dramatic style for us, but actually for kind of had a whimper of a tournament for everyone else. It kind of did, in a way, it kind of has felt like he's been a little bit restrained. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I thought that what I saw of him in the ILT20, I thought he was really good. I didn't see all of that tournament, but I think he had the best economy. He was going at under sixes
Yeah,
while taking wickets. And from what I saw of him, there was a bit more action in his bowling. It was like, I think we have all felt that he increasingly looked like he'd become slower and like loopier, and like just like there was less, I don't know, like waddling to the crease and not putting a huge amount of body through it. And it seemed like that was a little bit restored. I think it's a big IPL for him. And I still think that Hasaranga is one of our key linchpins, especially in T20 cricket. I The floater thing seems to have kind of died a death, but I don't think it necessarily should have, because I think before that T20 World Cup, there were times when it worked, when it looked really impactful. Like he's one of the cleanest strikers in that team, right? And the way that he can crush spin means that teams have to kind of change their plans when he comes in the middle order, bring their death bowlers up, and it can be disruptive. So I still think that Hasaranga is a really crucial component for Sri Lanka moving forward. I would like to see him look a bit leaner and keep bowling with action and kind of impact. But yeah, I think that if Sri Lanka are going to do stuff in the upcoming ICC tournaments, he's got a big role to play.
I, I,
what do you
I
think, Dom?
Go ahead, Mark.
Is it? Oh, good. No, I was just going to ask. What do you think his bowling's getting a
You
bit
know,
looser?
I pretty much agree with Nick on this. I think his loopier deliveries have kind of been figured out a little bit. So especially when the game plan is attack his loopier deliveries, try to smash him for 4 or 6, and teams have been successful doing it. His response, I think, as Nick has pointed out, has been to go a little bit flatter, to bowl with a little bit more pace, and I think he's made that adjustment, and I think he's learned from that. I think he mixes in the loopier delivery, especially to lower order batters who may not be as confident, especially with the googly. So I think he's made changes in his bowling. He still picks up wickets on the regular. I don't think we've seen any issue with him taking wickets. If anything, it's his economy. And I think this IPL, as Nick said, is going to be absolutely massive. How is he going to fare in what looks like it's going to be a massive run fest where everyone's attacking all the time? What tricks is he going to develop? What ways is he going to kind of get around it as kind of a number one wrist spinner, right? And interestingly, in the IPL, there aren't that many kind of top draw wrist spinners anymore. You have Yuzi Chahal, you have Kuldeep, but there's just not that many that they're using. Finger spin is kind of in at the moment. So how he adjusts to that will be good. And I agree with Nick. The floater role, I think, is going to be really important. He's a clean striker. I think the other thing he provides is he's a right-handed bat. And right now, our sort of middle order is all lefties, right? So having someone who you can bring up to break up bowling partnerships, to cause teams to think differently, and who can, smoke someone for 30 runs in an over, that's a huge plus. And in the T20 game, I think people need to realize it's okay to make two ducks if the next inning is sort of a 70 from 30, right? That more than makes up for it, especially in that floater role. So I think we really should just be patient with him, and think about what value he can provide to the team in that floater role. I think playing as a floater also opens up the possibility that you can play Will Alage, Hasaranga, and Thikshana together. I think that's going to be one thing that's tricky. Obviously, the 2026 World Cup in the subcontinent will make it a little bit easier to play those three guys together. But sort of as thinking about a winning formula, um, moving someone up the order, moving one of those spinners up the order as a batter is going to be quite important.
The other thing I will say is that what you see in T20 cricket is that bowlers play a bit of game of kind of long term like chess with opposition batters, particularly if you imagine like when they go around the world and play all these franchise leagues, is they basically bowl against the same batters all the time and the same, like much more frequently than they've done in the past. And on top of all that, they kind of end up bowling against teams that are coached by the same analysts and coaches kind of tend to move around. And because of that, you see bowlers have to constantly develop what they're doing and change variations and speed and paces and everything they possibly can so that they've always got something slightly different to bring to it. And if you don't adapt quickly, you just won't get the contracts anymore. But because of that, there will be peaks and troughs, and we saw that. So about this time last year, that Thikshana was getting hit around a little bit and was struggling, and now he's number one in the ODI rankings, isn't he?